Welcome, everybody, to Crunch Time with Jeff, Booner, Lukas, and Gentry. It is Friday, May 31st.
Friday, baby.
Feel good Friday.
Feel good Friday.
You know, football Friday in this case. Maybe a little bit of Troy Weaver Friday. It's the burial of Troy Weaver. He was fired today. Trajan Langdon said, nope. Let that man go into the weekend unemployed.
We're trying to win.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about it today.
It's a great day to have a great day. It's a great day to have a great Friday. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, Kory Woods is joining the show. He'll be helping us break that down. He covers the Detroit Pistons and the Detroit Lions for MLive.com. So can't wait for his perspective. He'll be joining us halfway through the first hour. But fellas, we got a lot to get into today. Tim Twentyman's takeaways from OTAs. We got some footage on social media from OTAs per the Detroit Lions. So that's always awesome. We get an inside look at what's going on. And also, real quick, we posted on our Twitter, helping our good friend Tom Grassi reach just a goal for a really good cause. St. Jude Children's Hospital. He's traveling the world raising money right now, and we tried to show some support, at least trying to gather some Lions fans. I know he's huge in the NFL world and in Packers land, but we're going to try and extend a hand here. It's on our Twitter. You can go check it out. Link to donate. All you got to do is retweet and post just proof you donated, and you're automatically entered to win a Lions jersey. There's no follow requirement, anything like that. We just want to help Tom do something really special. So check that out.
Beautiful thing.
It is on our social media. And also, real quick update: our website is live. For those who don't know, merchandise is all available to purchase.
It's merch.
Over the weekend, we are adding more stuff: hats, polos, different designs that have not been released yet. Very, very sweet designs. So stay tuned for all of that. Over the course of time, we'll be adding different things like mugs and stickers and stuff like that. But over the weekend, hats, polos, and more designs. That's our goal for this weekend. But fellas, now we got all that out of the way. We appreciate everyone for joining. If you're listening, leave a 5-star review. And don't forget to subscribe. We just reached 1.2 million
crazy
channel views. 1.2 million channel views since we've been up and running since late January, really February, for being honest. And that's all thanks to you guys. So, boys, little pat on the back, man. The team, we
go, boys.
I would have never imagined 1.2 million at the start of June, basically.
Yeah. How about that?
It's a lot of views. It's a lot of views.
It is.
People love us, baby.
Shout out to people. I mean, from the journey that we started, it's amazing with the people, the community. We talked about it yesterday, like the community of the people with the merch and just the poll and everything. Now it's awesome. It's been great.
Yeah, it's a blessing. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I love doing this with you guys and the people in the chat that are there consistently. It means everything. And honestly, it's even more impressive because it's the off season. So imagine when the Lions are playing football. You're going to want to be here.
Instead of talking about these lists, we can talk about matchups. That's it's so much more refreshing.
Come on.
Yeah. Stop pulling up PFF lists. And I understand that's what we got to make something out of nothing when it's the off season, but it's so much more refreshing when you can talk about actual X's and O's and stuff that is actually have context and is cement at that time.
Yeah. Trying to turn chicken, soup from chicken, what. That's
part of the game, baby. Got to do it. It's part of the game.
That's it's just fun getting on, talking to you guys, hanging out with you guys and the people. So it's always a blast here, making the best out of the off season. And of course, with the off season comes some breaking news, and the Detroit Pistons have decided to say adios to Troy Weaver.
Jeff's hurting.
Finally, baby.
No,
Jeff's hurting. His boy's gone.
Maybe a year ago, Jeff, he would have been hurting. But we all go through personal growth, personal development, maturation, as some would say. All right, I think there's a process with that, and I think I'm not blind to the fact of Troy Weaver, his botched trades, missing on draft picks, and on top of that, roster construction just being absolutely just disgusting. He's hit on picks, of course. I mean, Cade is a great player. I mean, that was a number
I
of
could hit on Cade.
Well, I give Brad Holmes, like Brad Holmes drafting Panay. I'm not going to say, well, anybody would have took Panay. He fell in your hands. Like I try to give him credit for that. You know what I mean? So he didn't mess it up. He took Cade. Okay. So that's a great pick.
I mean, he was the clear number one overall pick. Like, no,
well, I don't want to get
no.
Yeah, I don't. He wasn't, but I don't want to get in this debate.
You know, the best part about this, Jeff, is we could do this now because I did put a no Troy Weaver and Pistons talk until Troy Weaver was fired. Now we could talk Pistons finally again because that was the only requirement that I had.
Well, he is gone. And like I was saying, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, like some of the players you do like overall, like his job as a general manager was just absolutely disappointing. It was bad. And he deserved to go. I've said it multiple times. It should be the first move that Trajan Langdon makes is firing Troy Weaver, and he did so. So I'm happy. It's a hell of a way to make a statement as the new president of basketball operations. It's a way to be like, hey, I'm here. See you later, Troy Weaver. This is my opinion, and I want your guys' thoughts. And you can give your thoughts on Troy Weaver, but also this is a two-parter. Monty Williams, if he was going to fire Monty, in my opinion, he would have fired him today with Troy Weaver. I think he would have been, adios to both of you. Which, again, if you're a new president of basketball operations and you want to hire your own guys, anybody in any type of leadership role for that is a part of a failing company or a failing organization at this moment in time, yeah, you want to bring in guys from the outside, bring in your own guys. So I understand that completely. But Monty Williams has not been fired yet. And a part of me believes he will be here for probably another year. I think the next year, I don't think or two, but let's just go year, will be that process of, okay, Monty, we're going to get a better roster around you. And the pressure's on you to see what you can do with it. That's my takeaway. But yeah, Troy Weaver's gone, fellas. It's a great day. It's the first step of a very, very long process. It's going to be a little bit. But what do you guys think?
It feels like all it feels like to me. It's like the eighth rebuild since Tom Gores has been the owner of the Pistons. So it's just like another reset, another restart. Obviously, without the changing the head coach and all that. This is if Langdon would have came in and he doesn't make this move to fire Troy Weaver, and he would have came in and said, "No, we'll evaluate this a little bit. Well, maybe Troy can stay. Maybe Monty." I would have been so mad if Troy Weaver was still on this staff, if he was a part of the organization. This had to have been done today. And the fact that today was his essentially like what today was like his first initial day, his first initial week, instantly he goes, nope, we're moving on. And he's going to bring his own guys in. It sounds like I've already seen rumors of different front office people coming in from actually New Orleans, potentially different executives coming in. So he's coming in and he's like, hey, we're changing this thing right now. We're not going to sit here and wait. We're not going to see what Troy has. We're not going to see what this person's about. No, this has been an experiment with Troy Weaver, fellas, that has been the worst, not just like in the NBA today, probably of all time. Troy Weaver, I just went and looked at his record.
Original Bobcats.
No, it's worse than that. Like he's been the GM for 4 seasons. Never won more than 23 games. He started off with 20, 23, and he's gotten worse, 17 and 14. So it is only up here from here for Langdon. Like it is literally, he can't do much worse. He has taken over one of the worst franchises in sports history right now. It can only go up from here. I'm pumped that he did this. I want to know. I think the biggest question is, fellas, does Tom Gores let Langdon go out there and do whatever he wants? Or is he going to still have all these different, hey, you need to do this, I want you to do this, it's going to depend on this, and I'm going to sit here and control some of the basketball operations still? Or is he going to say, hey, I don't care what you do, this is your team now, this is your organization, go run it and win us a championship in the next 10 years. Go figure something out to get the job done. And Jeff, I'm with you too on the Monty thing. I think Monty stays in Detroit for another year at least. You have to see what you have in Monty. I'm one of those guys to where I do understand there were situations and things wrong that Monty did this year, but he was never set up for success in the first place. And yeah, he's the one that signed the contract to come, and he decided to come. Never was set up for success from the start. He didn't have a roster to win. He didn't have a roster to do anything. He was trying trying everything he could. We've seen Monty Williams in Phoenix take, what was it, a 18, 19 win team and took them to the NBA Finals within 3 or 4 seasons. So it's not that Monty can't do it. It's that he needs a competent boss, a competent front office to be able to go out there and do it. So hopefully that's the change that's needed. And hopefully there's just a little bit of a spark next year, and the Pistons can get, like, honestly, just get to 25 games. Get over 23 in year one. Beat Troy Weaver's record that he had in 4 seasons. Beat that this year with Langdon, and I'll be happy with that.
To that point you just kind of made about too many cooks in the kitchen, which is something that I've spoke about before with people like Kool-Aid and Sean Murphy, and we've had that because that's been just reportings that there's more than one cook in the kitchen. And to your point, Booner, like Trajan Langdon, it seems like he is making he has control to make those types of decisions. But I am curious, even if they do bring in another general manager, I don't think it's as much as Tom interfering and making decisions as he allows others to make decisions, which he needs to be like, okay, this is Trajan Langdon ball club. He's making decisions. He could fire the janitor if he wants to. I don't give a shit. All basketball-related decisions are through that guy, and I'm just over here chilling. That's how it should be.
It's essentially it's who has final word with all of these decisions. Who has final word when it comes to Monty? Who has the final word when it comes to the general manager and making trades and drafting? Who's going to be one making those decisions instead of having people over top of you? And you have, like you said, all these cooks in the kitchen, all these people in your ear. You should do this. You should do this. Do this. This. All of that needs to go. It's Langdon, and it's whoever the new GM is. Those are the only two guys who should be having these conversations going forward. So I'm interested to see who they bring in as the GM. That's going to be one of the more interesting things. I want to know who that is.
Let's welcome in Gentry. All right, we got Gentry in here as well. What up, BMG? How you doing?
Hello, Gentry.
How are you? Booner?
Yeah, all right, BMG, you got your Christmas wish. Troy Weaver is no longer the Pistons general manager. It's a great day. But what are your thoughts on him? And also, real quick, guys, I got to mention this. It was also reported, I think in The Athletic, I could be wrong, and don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was James Edwards. But it was reported that he was offered a kind of a demotion. Like he could be in the scouting department. He was like, nah, fuck that. And he just blew up the deuces and left. So what do you make of him being fired and maybe that report as well?
Well, I said the other day that shouldn't happen. If you're going to get him out, he should be totally out of the building. And I'm happy, obviously, that he got fired and whatnot. I wonder if there's any more moves. I don't know if you brought up if they are going to get rid of Monty or whatnot. I think Monty should still get another season, but this needed to happen. Troy Weaver's been awful. You can't go through stretches like he went through as a general manager. So ultimately, this was going to happen, and it needed to happen, and thank God it did.
It feels like the Pistons got baptized a little bit. It feels like that something had to happen. There had to be a change, an internal change that really took over everything. Jeff's smacking over there.
Yeah, he popped up on the screen, and he had no clue he was on camera. He had no clue.
It's just the day that the Pistons need it. I'm happy to see it. It can get people like me a little bit more interested in the Pistons.
I think one of the more interesting questions too, and I want to hear like what a lot of people think about this. All the people who cover the Pistons, and obviously Kory's going to be on. I'm actually really interested to see kind of where this goes with the roster going forward now, because there are these conversations the last couple of weeks when the season ended. Like, are you going to be willing to keep all of these core players? Where do you think with Jalen Duren and Asor Thompson, Jaden Ivey, and these guys, like, are they going to stay on the roster? I'm really interested to see kind of how they go about that going forward now. Like, because really, when they make these moves, you're going to start to see a little bit about how people on the outside of the Detroit Pistons organization feel about some of these players, because he'll be willing to move on from some of these as Adam put, core players. He's going to be able to move on from them very, very quick, I feel like. And we might see a brand new roster next year.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't even want to.
Everyone but one player, we can agree with that.
Okay. To say you don't have a Anthony Edwards, a Luka Doncic, absolutely, I agree with that. But like, to me, a core player, do you have some good players? To me, we have one true good player. I know that's subjective. I think Cade Cunningham's a good player. He is. And to me, to trade someone like that without really maximizing the roster and seeing what he can do with better players is just kind of unfair. You're basically starting from ground zero, which, some may say, we'll do that. Okay, we'll trade Cade Cunningham. If you don't think Cade is a true, core player, what are you getting for him exactly? Like, that's where I'm confused. If you think he's a foundational player and you want to trade him, fair, because then maybe another team will look at him like that. But he's like, trade Cade. He's worth nothing. Okay, then what team? What are you getting for him? Even if I said, okay, I'll listen to that, but no, don't trade Cade. No, I'm okay.
There's going to be this might be a guarantee, and I'll throw it out there. 70% of the current roster will not be on this basketball team come the first week. Maybe not 70, but like half of this roster gone, moved on, traded. They're going to rebuild this whole thing. This thing's going to get blown up here. And I think all these core players, you're going to see 2 out of the 4 of them at least minimum traded. And I do, Jeff, I am with you a little bit. Yeah, maybe Cade can't be your number 1. Maybe he can't be your Anthony Edwards or Luka Doncic, but that doesn't mean he can't be your number 2 on a really good, team that can go to the NBA Finals. Like in his career, I believe he can do that. So it's like you do have to keep some of these guys around. It's not going to be all of them, though, and you're not going to have the same roster going into the next year. Langdon will go in there, and he will wipe out half of this roster. I can almost guarantee you. And if he doesn't, then we're back in that same cycle, boys. Welcome to being a Detroit Pistons fan for a 17th straight year.
Yeah. If he doesn't trade at least 2 of those, Ivy, Stewart, Duren, Asar, then I think it's going to be a failure of an offseason. You need to flip the roster some way. I think Ivy and Stu would be the first 2 guys that I look to move, but you need to at least move 2 out of those 4 for sure.
Yeah, well, and to Gentry's point, like if you're trying to acquire a proven player, you're right. You're going to have to trade away someone or maybe just some people. Meaning more than one. So I don't know. It depends. Maybe it's Brandon Ingram. Maybe it's someone else. I hope there will be some sort of deal done. Maybe they just stay put and take a guy at 5 and spend money and call it an off season. Like that would be, to me, it's like, okay, here we go. You didn't really make a big splash move, but again, Zach LaVine's available. Could I interest you?
I mean,
no,
dude. Which way do you guys want the Pistons to go, though? Because in any sport, there's 2 ways for a rebuild. It's tear it down and kind of restart and build something from the bottom up, or it's start spending money and it's just keep the guys you have and bring other guys and spend some money to bring in with them, like the Rockets did last year. Like there's 2 different ways to do it, and like which way do you want this new regime to do it? I would rather. I don't know. I guess I'm interested. I want to go back and see how it feels like they did in New Orleans with Is it Langdon?
Trajan Langdon.
I don't know if there's an N in there. Langdon. I'm interested because they did build through the draft over there in New Orleans. So is he going to try and say, hey, I want to get my own guys in here? Because isn't that not what Troy did? Like he said, all right, we're going to build through the draft and I'm going to get my guys. And how did that work? He did a great job drafting, didn't he, Jeff, outside of Cade Cunningham? So that worked out really well.
I mean, Ivy, I like Ivy too. Yeah,
that was another one where I think a lot of us probably all would have picked Ivy. 90% of the people.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, yeah, are you trying to like say that like?
It's just like when people hold their heads on this Troy Weaver, he hit on Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey, but it's just like, dude, like those were the guys that fell right in your lap. And you could say the Penei Sewell thing, but like the Cade Cunningham thing, dude, he was the number 1 overall pick. There was no question anyone behind him was going to go above him. That was the number 1 overall pick. When they won the lottery, people started making Cade Cunningham jerseys to the Detroit Pistons. That's a fact.
Okay.
Troy Weaver wasn't like, oh, let me think about these guys behind. No, it was Cade Cunningham, and then when Jaden Ivey was there, it was either what's his name, Murray,
no, I'm not giving you that one. I'm not giving you that one.
Who else?
That's not the right take. And usually I'm with you. Usually, like for the Cade thing, like okay, we're nitpicking. Fine, you could say it was consensus. I'm not going to nitpick you. Ivy was not. I was fighting for Shaedon Sharpe. Like
I was a Shaedon Sharpe guy, but everyone knew it was going to be Jaden Ivey.
What?
Everyone knew who was going to pick.
No, dude. Okay, so while we were at our former employer, there was plenty of debates on who they should take. Like, I don't know what I get. I think you're running with the Cade thing. Like, Cade, I'm with you. Okay, number 1 pick, but like Ivy, absolutely not. You're picking at 5. Like Benedict Mathurin. Mike wanted Benedict. What are we talking about?
All right, yeah, maybe you got me there. The Benedict thing, because shout out.
I did want
easy one.
Yeah, but to your point,
you got me. They got me.
Fine, and again, I'm not going to. I don't even want to.
But you could say Jaden Ivey was the easy pick because he had ties to Detroit and whatnot. It was kind of the safer pick, but I don't like. There still was conversations about who they should pick, and maybe if Keegan Murray fell and whatnot.
Oh, Keegan, yeah.
Yeah, so
that was the one where I thought it was going to be Keegan Murray or Jaden Ivey. I think I was on the boat with you though, Jeff, the Shane Sharp thing, but it just felt like it was the easy pick. Let's just go Ivy. That was all the projections were. If Ivy's there at 5, the Pistons are going to do that, and then
I'll tell you what
they
wasn't a
did.
consensus.
I'm just interested too because, like, if you think about it, too, guys, and Jeff, we could take a trip down memory lane as well. Do you remember you and I don't know if Gentry was in this argument or Klotz was back in the day, but do you remember the argument we had in that first draft class with Killian and all of those first round? He had 30 first round draft picks. How did those hit? Like, looking back at it, it was just like, oh, the Sadiq Bey thing, the Isaiah Stewart thing. Like, dude, you have 3 first round picks. You have to hit on one of them, and you didn't really get any big time player out of any of them. And remember, we went to battle on that. And then eventually, like, you start looking at it, you're like, yeah, like, it's hard to hit on a first round pick in the NBA, but when you have 3 of them and you don't even get one starter, like legit dude out of it, that's a problem. So hopefully Langdon can figure that one out. And
I think missing on Tyrese Halliburton was like the biggest. That was the first domino right there. That was a big domino because that changes a lot of things. Like Killian, to have your first pick be Killian Hayes,
oh my god,
it's tough. Very, very tough.
I'm looking at the spot right now. My bed is over there. Right there, I was sitting at the edge of my bed watching that draft, and the Pistons came up. I texted my cousin who's over here. There was over there, and I texted and said, Tyrese Halliburton, that's the pick. The Detroit Pistons pick is in. It's Killian Hayes. The rest is history. It was one of the worst misses of all time. Oh my gosh. I think it's time to burn that.
No, honestly, it was such an easy pick, dude. Should have just picked Tyrese.
What number is that?
What are you talking about?
The jersey. What number?
He's denied these rumors.
Pull up the jersey.
No, this is Blake Griffin.
I don't believe Iafrate. Stand up.
Oh,
God. Yo, anybody want to buy this? I'll sell it for $5.
I'll buy it, and we're burning it.
Gross.
I'll buy it. We can burn it.
I'll sell this for $5. Honest, actually, you can have it. You just have it. Actually, no, you can't. To be fair,
you'll have to pay me $5.
No, actually, to be fair, this is a gift from my woman years ago. But hey, she got it. It was the right intention. Okay,
that's how you knew Jeff was talking about Killian Hayes a lot and how much he loved him. Because if your girlfriend buys you something, like she had no clue who Killian Hayes was, still probably doesn't even know who he is. She just knows that you like Killian Hayes because you're talking about him so much.
You should get approval. We should burn it and post the video on like the end of the Troy Weaver area. It's over finally.
Yeah, it could be like it's like the Purge. Like we burn it. It's like end of an era.
Like, that whole, what is it called? The Wuju or stuff. Like get all of that out. Burn it.
Juju, the bad juju.
We burn that. We move on. The juju's gone.
Yeah.
What did I say?
The Wuju.
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 I don't know what that is.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'm curious who he brings in as the new GM. I think that's probably the big thing. But hey, Trajan Langdon, I'm impressed. At least for the first week.
good step one.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like you don't really know. I mean, there's nothing.
Pat on the back for him.
Yeah, little pat on the back. We're gonna be joined by Kory in a couple of minutes here. I see Spirit of Detroit says IVK need Nick Nurse last draft. I wanted Grady Dick. Yeah, Grady Dick, man. It's
just the red suit.
Yeah, he was dripped out, man. Grady Dick, sniper, absolute sniper. MP WMU says should have traded for Aiden while we had the chance. Absolutely not.
Out on that.
Absolutely not. DeAndre Ayton, there's no way in hell I'm giving that guy. I would have gave that guy a max contract. Actually, that's a lie. I did have a video. I did talk about it on air, and I contemplated it. But looking back, I was wrong. There's no way in hell that should have ever happened. Ever. So, no. All the shit that comes out about DeAndre Ayton, like the last 6 months, dude, he is like, it just keeps getting worse. Literally, it just keeps getting worse. But let's welcome in our guest today. All right. He is the man who covers the Detroit Pistons and the Detroit Lions. Yeah, he is a Swiss Army knife, and he's one of the best in the state of Michigan at what he does. And that's Mr. Kory Woods.
Right.
who has been absolutely busy today, especially with Troy Weaver. Welcome to the show, Kory. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Kory,
Kory.
you know what, my friend? This is something that, it's an interesting day. Okay, Troy Weaver, he is out of here. Trajan Langdon, first move. He said, adios, Troy Weaver. I'll see you later. What are your thoughts on that? Because I think it sends one hell of a statement to the fan base. I think it's a great step one. And is I don't know exactly who reported it. And I hate doing this. And I don't know if you know, but the report that he was offered basically a demotion, like he could be in the scouting department, but he declined it. Could you kind of expand on that and just your thoughts on Trajan Langdon?
I'm don't quote me 100%, but I believe that might have been in James Edwards' report that Troy Weaver was offered a scouting role, and apparently he declined it to pave way for whatever their change they're about to make. But to answer your question about today's news, I believe you asked me what did I think of the move. I think that it was smart in how the Pistons went ahead and rolled it out. Obviously, we heard the reports that Trajan Langdon was going to be named the new president of basketball operations. And the way they went about it was pretty smart, because if you were already going to make the decision to part ways with Weaver, go ahead and let him get that out the way before his introductory press conference. That way, on day one, when he finally does speak to the media and to the public for the first time in his new role, he doesn't have to answer questions about what he's going to do about Troy Weaver. That's already been taken care of. Now he can go ahead and roll out his plan for the future. And I think it wouldn't shock me that if they decide to make the decision to part ways with Monty Williams, that will also be ahead of that introductory press conference as well. So that remains to be seen. But I believe the way they rolled it out, and with all the news with Trajan Langdon being announced as president, and then the move to move away from Weaver, smart move.
Yeah, hey, Kory, I heard you mention Monty Williams there. Do you think, what is your your thought process on that with Monty Williams? Do you think, since they didn't do it at the same time here with Troy today, that's going to end up being something to where he gets another year? And do you expect him to get another year? And would you like that move to happen to keep him around?
Well, it remains to be seen. Just the way they rolled it out. I would say pay attention to everything over the weekend, because I guess we would be expecting him to be introduced at some point next week. So it would be shocking with the way they did the Weaver dismissal. It would be shocking if they decide to part ways with Monty Williams and it's not ahead of that press conference. That way he can just tackle everything as far as his new vision in one swoop, as opposed to, having the Weaver thing solved, but having to go into that introductory answering questions about Williams' future. And to answer your question about whether I would like to see him back, I mean, obviously I have no dog in the fight. I'm unbiased. I'm a beat reporter. But at the same time, you got to look at it like this. The Pistons had a 17-win team last season, and they brought back a lot of the same parts and told a new coach to do better with most of these same parts. And 17 wins, 14 wins, I mean, you're pretty much arguing semantics. 3 games ain't really that much of a difference. So I don't think I think Monty Williams does have to take some accountability for how this roster turned out. But I don't know if moving on from him just yet would be the smart move, because you brought back a lot of pieces from the second worst team and second worst record in your franchise history and expected him to do better. It didn't really make much sense to me. So I think he might be safe. But again, when you bring in a president of basketball operations, the way the Pistons did, the way that many teams do, that person, whether it's a man or a woman, whoever, they were more than likely looking to bring in their people. So it wouldn't shock me in either direction. I think if they do keep Monty Williams, I'll say maybe another season or maybe 2, that does give Langdon a little bit of leeway in this role, because the clock officially starts on him once he makes his hire for the head coach.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
Kory, it's definitely going to be interesting seeing how this shakes out with Monty. But as far as the roster shakes out, one player I'm definitely interested to see if he stays or not is Jaden Ivey. What do you think now that Langdon's in-house, he's going to do with Ivey?
Well, here's the thing. We see the potential that Ivey has. When Ivey is hot, Ivey is hot. I mean, he's a very streaky player, he's athletic. He can put the ball in the hoop, but he's also very inconsistent, turnover prone. He is below sub 35% from beyond the arc. I mean, he did have that little flurry earlier this year, but again, he went back to some of his old ways. So I think that if there is a move out there where they can acquire an all-star, whether it's a guard, whether it's a point forward, that can help elevate this Pistons offense and provide the much needed spacing that you would want to have with a guy like Cade Cunningham being your facilitator, I can see them parting ways with Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, and Kory, obviously the Pistons got stuck with the 5th pick again. Who do you want at 5, or do you think the team's better off trading the pick?
Well, here's one thing we got to say. We people have to really understand about trading the pick. The Pistons still owe the New York Knicks the first rounder, so you would need that pick to convey first before they can start trading any. So basically, what the Pistons will be doing is, if they want to move that number 5th overall pick, they would have to do it on draft night and basically, select a player for whatever team they're going into a deal with. But having said that being said, I think it's a possibility that they could go ahead and move on from that pick in the draft. There's been clippings out there on the internet, right? You can probably find them of Langdon stating his theory about looking for a superstar in those first 5 picks. And we know, all due respect, I believe we can agree that this draft is devoid of superstars when you get down to that pick. So if they're able to make some type of draft day arrangement, trade or whatnot, that's when I could see that pick being moved.
And Kory too. I mean, a guy who is out there and with the ties to Trajan Langdon's former organization, Brandon Ingram. And this is my question to you. Okay. And I know you already mentioned the draft night, a potential draft night deal. You have New Orleans, who, and I talked about this with Anthony Pistons Talk. So shout out to him for having me on. But on the New Orleans Pelicans, they do need young talent. They're not going to be able to keep everybody. So they want to get a little younger. Is, in your eyes, and just from what you've covered, what you've heard, how likely do you think a move for a potential Brandon Ingram could align with now? It's kind of like the Brad Holmes when he got to the Lions, made a deal with his former organization, the Rams. Do you get that sense it could be opening to where they'll have negotiations for someone like Brandon Ingram, or do you think they'll just stay away possibly? Because they do got to give him an extension as well, Brandon Ingram.
Well, I think that it is very well possible, just off the simple fact that the Pistons do have they do have compelling pieces that they can offer the New Orleans Pelicans to acquire Brandon Ingram. Now, that's not to say that their Pistons have the most attractive package, but they do have one. They do have the pieces. I mean, you have Jaden Ivey, you have, so people may not want to hear this, you have an Asar Thompson, you have an Isaiah Stewart. I think if you're looking to make a move for Brandon Ingram, the 2 people you would probably want to hold on to would be Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren, and maybe whomever else you can kind of get creative. And I think that the Pelicans will go ahead and make that move. They're going to need a new center with Valanciunas leaving, and with the emergence of Trey Murphy and Herbert Jones. Ingram is going to be the odd man out. The Pelicans have a very loaded payroll. They're going to have to get rid of somebody. So I believe the Pistons have an attractive trade package to be able to get him. And I think it would be a smart move to do that as well. They're going to enter free agency with roughly around $60 million. And again, just similar to the draft class, this free agency class isn't as attractive. And I think if you go ahead and make a move for somebody like Brandon Ingram, you can absorb him into that cap and then still go out and get a couple of B- C+ players to surround these guys with and see what happens. I believe that would be a smarter move than going out there in free agency and doing an overpay of somebody.
Agreed.
Yeah, that was going to be part of my question too here, Kory, is just like looking at what Langdon did in New Orleans. A lot of those guys, CJ McCollum, Jonas Valanciunas, and Brandon Ingram, like those are all like acquired via trade. Like, which way do you feel like Langdon's going to take? Because we saw Troy Weaver come in and essentially tear down and just go straight through the draft. And obviously that didn't work out as we thought. Do you see Langdon being like, hey, let me get my own guys in here and build through the draft, or the other route of, because he essentially in New Orleans, you're looking at their roster, he kind of did both ways, to where he traded for some 3 or 4 massive starting pieces, and then the bench and a couple of those guys were all through the draft. Do you see him going one way or the other, or like what seems more realistic now? You mentioned the $60 million here in free agency. Do you see him kind of taking one of those routes, or just kind of going up the middle and saying, hey, let's try both here like we did in New Orleans?
Well, That's a tricky question because we have yet to speak to Langdon to be able to see what his vision is. But I believe when you really look at what the Pistons have right now, I think the smarter thing would be to see who you can get through trades as opposed to going out there in free agency. Because here's the one thing that sometimes people misconstrue about the cap: the Pistons have to spend the money. They have to spend 90% of the cap, I believe, by the time training camp starts, or they have to write the league a check. So, do you want the Pistons to spend the money, or do you want them to have to write a league a check and then you get nothing for it? So, whether it's acquiring somebody through trade to eat that cap room or going through free agency, they're going to have to use that cap up. And I believe that through trades might be their best route to go. I mean, there's a couple of guys out there. But I mean, Tobias Harris is out there. I believe OG Anunoby is going to be out there. Do you want to give this guy a sizable contract to leave New York and come to Detroit? But I mean, they have a lot of options. I believe I think the picture will be a lot more clear once we have that introductory press conference with Langdon and he's able to share his vision.
Yeah, I feel like kind of the obvious question that's still sitting there, Kory, is Troy Weaver's gone. Thank goodness, good riddance. Who do you think is going to be the guy if you had to make the selection of replacing him as the general manager?
I have no idea right now because, again, we've seen in the past people that have held the president of basketball operations role, such as Stan Van Gundy and Joe Dumars. They've actually been the de facto GM as well. So who's to say that we don't know? We don't know. Who's to say that this guy's going to go ahead and hire a GM, or he's going to go ahead and step into the role himself? There is some names floating out there as potential people he could bring in that role, but again, I don't have a clue until we see what kind of vision he's going to have in his role and what his full authority is going to be.
Okay. Yeah, because to that point too, Kory, it is true because that's something we talked about earlier. It's like, who's he going to bring in at GM? But Tim Connolly is like president of basketball operations, but really GM. Like he kind of has both roles, and it gives Trajan Langdon more power. So it makes sense. I do want to ask you, at least moving forward. You look at this team. We understand that it's going to be a lengthy process. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and it could be solved if they be more aggressive via trade. Maybe they go get a Brandon Ingram, like I brought up, or anybody for that matter. But what are you expecting in terms of free agency? You mentioned going out and signing some guys, some names that are just out there that do make sense. I mean, you're going to have free agents like possibly OG Anunoby. You're going to have guys like Malik Monk, Buddy Hield, just to give you more of a lower end, Gary Trent Jr. What should the Detroit Pistons prioritize in free agency? And then the two-part question, can you just reassure everybody whether you believe Cade Cunningham is a true franchise player? It's a two-parter, I know, but that's something that people keep bringing up, whether Cade's that guy or not. But first, what should they do in free agency?
First off, I think in free agency, you got to go ahead and prioritize getting a guy like Malik Monk. I mean, he's shown, first off, he's still very young. I believe he's around 26 years old, maybe 25. And has the veteran experience that you need while still being young. He's incredibly athletic, decent mid-range, solid from beyond the arc, which really helps out with the Piston spacing. And if you're able to get a guy like him, I mean, heck, Malik Monk could be your day one starter at shooting guard with Cade Cunningham. And if you still have Ivy, bring him off the bench because, again, in this NBA, you have to be able to shoot or play really, really good defense to make up for your shooting. And let's just be real, Ivy doesn't fit either mode right now. And to kind of go with your two-part question, we do not know what Cade Cunningham really is yet. Obviously, we see that he's incredibly talented, but when you have a facilitator and a playmaker like him surrounded by guys that shoot below 35% from beyond the arc, that already kills the Piston spacing, and you need reliable shooters around a guy like that, or else you're not going to really see the true fruition of his game come together. He's easy to double team on or zero in on, and which is why I believe we saw a lot of his turnovers to start the season, because he had to overcompensate for what he was not surrounded with. Like, I mean, heck, look at a guy, and I believe Bobby Marks said this when I had a conversation with him. Look at a guy like PJ Washington. Look at what he did with the Charlotte Hornets, And then look at what he did doing now with the Dallas Mavericks when he's surrounded around better talent. You're seeing a different player. So I believe when you surround Cade Cunningham with the proper spacing and people that can go ahead and put the ball in the hoop themselves, we're going to be able to see what he truly is. Right now, we just know that he has the potential, but we don't know what he can really be yet.
And last thing I want to ask you here, Kory, is just now that we know Trajan Langdon's in and in the Troy Weaver situation now, it's going to be official that he's out. Obviously, the Monty stuff's in the air, but just I want to know, like, initial here, the news comes out today. What is your initial kind of expectation now going into next season for the Pistons? I think a lot of fans and a lot of people, like listeners of ours, are like kind of question, all right, where are we at now? Are we going to have another 14, 17 wins, or is it Langdon? Where are the expectations now? He comes in, makes all these moves that we talked about here, and kind of makes that improvement and gets to 25 games or is it just, hey, let's be a little bit more patient now that a new guy is in here? What are your expectations here for the fans kind of going forward with the new front office?
Well, I believe the new front office is in a good spot, and honestly, you have to give some of this credit to Troy Weaver. I mean, obviously, there were some things that he did not do well during his tenure, but the new guys that are going to be coming in are going to have roughly $60 million in cap space, a number 5 overall pick, and some young talented pieces. This was all done under Troy Weaver. Granted, the 74 and 244 over the 4 past seasons is not what you would like, but the new guys coming into a really sweet situation. So I believe a fair expectation is to see this team get above 25 games. I believe that is a very fair expectation. You don't want to. Last time I said that this couldn't get any worse was when they won 17 games and they followed up with 14. So I'm not going to say it can't get any worse, but I believe rebuilding by getting some smaller B+, C-, not C-, B+, C+ players throughout free agency, or maybe acquiring that all-star through a decent trade, that would be the best way to go ahead and build this team up to move forward. And I believe that's what Pistons should be expecting. So I'll say around north to 25 games.
Can we just get 10? Just give me 10. 10 more wins. Just please. Some ways, the opposite of Rob Parker's no way, no how. Some way, somehow. Please, can we just get 10 more wins? Kory, we appreciate your presence. Thank you for taking the time. As
appreciate
always,
you, Kory.
Yeah, you always grace us with the time. Check out Kory's stuff, mlive.com. Pistons, Lions. The man is versatile. Until next time, Kory, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
there
Kory.
you have it. It's gonna be
great combo, boys.
Should be. I guess we pumped up for the Pistons season. I know it's like we shouldn't be, but I talked about it like since we started doing Crunch Time a couple months ago. I did not want to talk Pistons until there was a move made. I said either Tom Gore sells the team or Troy Weaver gets fired. Troy Weaver's fired. Now it's like, actually, I hate to say this, I enjoyed a Pistons conversation there, fellas. Now there's a little bit of not light, but it's like, oh, something happened.
They're building the light. They're building the light. Yeah. Edison's in the lab right now.
And this happens every time. They did this a couple years ago with Troy. We're all like, oh, light. Ooh, Troy Weaver. But.
Yeah, it's a start, though. I get to see some more things with the roster before I really get excited, see a couple good trades go through, but it is a start. I agree.
I can't wait till the press
had to happen.
Jeff, can we get you there?
Wait, did Mike just give a little? He gave a little.
Troy Weaver's out. The guy he hates is out. The guy we all don't like, he's out. We can move on now. Right. Mike, this is a new Mike.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't go that far.
He stays a hater.
He stays a hater, but he's still.
No. I'm a realist. Everything I said about Troy Weaver was fair. His drafts have been dog shit. He's been dog shit. His trades, but he's gone now. So
it's fair. No. Booner already declared there's no Booner path for the Pistons.
I said that with Troy Weaver. Weaver.
Oh,
but
I'll hand over my.
Yeah, you are the CPO, Klotz. Yeah, we will have the conversation. But depending on what Langdon does, I mean, it could be like in a year. But I just need to see something in a year.
Booner, did I steer you wrong on the Red Wings?
No, you were right with the Red Wings. No offense, Gentry. Jeff, can we get you in the building for the press conference?
I saw the TV from a mile away. I saw it from a mile away.
I would love to.
I would love to.
I don't know if I'll be able to in a short amount of time.
Let's make the move. Let's make the phone
But
call.
during the season, you never rule anything out. We'll try to get. I would
like to get a couple. Hop in a little bit on a game or two. Go watch the Pistons.
Ooh,
hey, Langdon Booner here, former Division II basketball coach. Yeah.
He's like,
yeah. Booner. We should get merch going of now that Weaver's fired. Make it like a holiday type shirt.
Ooh,
that'd probably do well.
Put Weaver behind bars or something like a.
Oh my god, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't mind it, Booner. I don't mind it.
No, don't do it.
Hey, just a couple things to think about here, brother.
No, no. You know what? We'll get in the lab, like you say. We'll get in the lab.
Make the Pistons great again.
I can get with that one. One. I'm with you when you're right, and I think that you might be onto something there.
Thank you.
Fellas, Tim Twentyman, I think he's onto something because he put out OTA Week 2 takeaways. He put it out on DetroitLions.com. They went into more of a detailed, all of the detailed takeaways. Before we get into that, I do want to show some footage. Yep, we do have footage. All right, we do have. Yes, I said that. We have footage here on Crunch Time from OTAs. It was posted on Twitter. Our good friend John Macroon, good friend of the program, he posted a video of the D-line working. We're very lucky to have the Lions post something. All right, and they posted some receivers getting some work, and there was a receiver in there making some plays that you haven't really talked about. I think Klotzy's gonna like this one. But we'll start with the D linemen and those guys going through some drills. It's nice to see these guys working with. Is it Terrell or what did Mike say?
I think it's Terrell.
Terrell, right? That's okay.
I don't know. Klotzy just said.
Yeah, he was muted.
I was sneezing. I didn't want to. Yeah, my bad. I think it's Terrell though.
Terrell.
Yeah.
I like Terrell, dude. That's great.
I think like Terrell sounds like easier to say, but I think it's Terrell.
Either way,
but we got to get that.
Usually with like Terrell, there's an E at the end.
The double L is like L, like Dell, Dell. That's Dell.
Yeah, that's fair.
Terrell.
Also tomorrow we have post shooting first cut. So very soon on Monday we'll be talking about who's available. But let's get to this video here. This was posted by our good friend John Macroon at Detroit Podcast on Twitter. So go give him a follow. Check out his stuff. And John, he took some footage. Look at this. Boys are getting to work.
Yo, Hutch.
Good boy, Hutch.
Face mask. Like everything looks so much better.
I can't see numbers. That's a problem.
Coach,
that was Pascal.
Coach Gerald.
Was 95 bets or was that commit? Bets. Look at him. Hey, he looked good.
Okay.
Rewind that.
That's
Go back.
You sold your soul on the mat. You sold your soul. You're off the Matty Betts train. Don't go climbing back on it.
I still have a bet on it. Can we watch bets again? I want the people in the chat to like, hey, what do we think? Does he look big? Look at that. He kind of looks good.
No.
Looks good. Go back a little bit more. Go back
big.
A little more, Jeff. Go back to when he's standing up next to the commit. He's bigger than the pause. He's bigger than the commish. He's taller.
Yeah, pause.
And he's quicker, and he had 18 seconds. I like that. Hey, people, let's get some bets chats in the chat, please.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah,
kind of looks big. Look at him, dude. He's
yeah. I mean, he's doing some drills on, with what? No pads.
Cool. I mean, what are we gonna do? Are you guys just gonna hate on him until he proves you wrong?
No, well, maybe I am. See, now we're getting to that point where I am starting to hate on him. But I don't want to.
It feels like it.
I just don't think he is going to make the roster. I think he'll be a practice squad member. Very, very fine practice squad.
Very
member.
fine.
The rumor was he's too small. He doesn't look too small to me there. He looks like he's almost as big as the commission. Commission's a guy that he's pretty big.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think commission. Honestly, I think commission might be better than him at this point. That's just what I'm thinking. Well, let's check out the receivers putting in work. This was posted on the Detroit Lions social media page. Just pay attention, because someone stood out in this video. So you have Amon-Ra St. Brown working. See, he's running some routes. Look at Amon-Ra, just looking crisp. I mean, this dude just look at run, just crisp as always.
That's the bread and butter right there.
And look at J-Mo, the route running.
There
J-Mo, Now, who?
Oh my gosh, yeah, who is that?
Is that Isaiah Williams?
It's not.
Could this be? Is this like a Lukas Klotz Quintez Cephas catch moment?
Is that what's his? Wait, I'm trying to think of the dude's name.
His last name
starts with L.
It is Doris Fontaine.
Oh yeah.
Or Doris or Doris.
The names really get our show here.
Yeah, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. Fontaine. He is. I think he hasn't really played like a ton of snaps in the NFL, but the Lions brought him in to just
compete.
Hey, see what he's got.
I think he was on. Was it the Niners? So
he was on
another
Chiefs.
like solid Chiefs. That's what it was.
Chiefs last season. He played in 2 games, but I think it was just all special teams because he had no yards and he had like a tackle or 2. I'm interesting guy.
A name we definitely have not talked about on here. We've been talking about who's going to be that wide receiver 6'5", who's going to be that jag. And I mean, it's obviously early on, it's OTAs, but if he keeps making plays like this,
a nice snag.
Yeah, I mean, it's all hands. And I'm really excited to see J-Mo, that crisp ass route on the bench cut, called with his hands turned upfield. Again, it's OTAs, but seeing him kind of polish up his route running, I think is very important for him to take that next step.
Yeah, well, he's somebody that we haven't really been talking about a lot. I don't know what he's got to give. He might be a little sleeper, maybe like the next TK85, where he's just a storyline, even though he barely plays. People just love him. Yeah. I am curious. You know who threw that ball though?
Hendon Hooker.
He did.
Yeah, he Fontaine had to go up and get it.
Well, that was the point though. Like,
okay. I thought you were saying like a dot or something.
Look at he's in the middle of the field, throws it up so only he can get it.
Yeah, you're right with that. And I do want to bring up too, like Ben yesterday on that press conference when he was asked like, hey, what weapons are going to take over for Josh Reynolds? The one thing that he did throw in there, yeah, he mentioned a couple other, like he mentioned DPJ and a couple other guys. He was like, maybe we can get Gibbs the ball some more, Laporta a couple extra catches. One thing he did say, he was like, maybe there's some guys from last year that you guys didn't hear about, and some practice squad guys that end up stepping up and finally get their number called and make some plays. So there might be some guys that we haven't had a conversation about that end up not maybe being that wide receiver 3-4, but like Klotz said, 5-6, getting that spot to where, hey, maybe your name's called throughout the season. Maybe Fontaine's one of those guys that Ben Johnson was alluding to.
Well, they got a lot of bodies in that wide receiver room. So it's going to be probably one of the biggest competitions this offseason for a lot of guys. I know there's some guys that are just going to be playing, but for like the Antoine Greens of the world, Isaiah Williams, it's going to be some guys battling it out. And so to get to Tim Twentyman, he also did talk about some things that he took away from just today and the last couple of days from OTAs. So let's read Tim Twentyman's takeaways. And to start us off, there was a little bit of some tempers flaring. He says tempers flare. There was a scrap, 2 of them actually. And it says here there were a couple minor skirmishes between offensive and defensive linemen in the first 11-on-11 team period. After the second one, head coach Dan Campbell stopped practice and brought everyone in to have a little talk. No more shenanigans followed. Defensive lineman Aiden Hutchinson was asked about it after practice, and he said it's a part of changing the mindset on defense. So, fellas,
love that.
They want to be dogs. They want to be nasty. They want to scrap.
That's what you want to hear out of the defensive line. You needed that from them. Last year, I don't know if that was the case, especially going up against Penei Sewell, Taylor, like Frank Ragnow, these guys. Like, give us some juice. Give us something, boys. That's Matthew Betson there going up to, Penei, being like, here we go. Let's go. Me, you, now. I'm just kidding. But no, you know what I mean? Like, that's like, you need that juice from the defensive line. It's like, finally, there's some juice from it. Like, that's something we haven't had. Maybe that's the Terrell Williams coming in and being like, hey, boys, like, what are we doing? You guys are soft. It's time to man up.
Are you saying that Charles Harrison bring the juice, Booner?
No, neither do the Akora brothers. I called for their jobs week 2. Like, get them out of here. Like, I was ready to move on. Now they got some dudes in here. Mark, I know you hate Marcus Davenport, Klotzy, but at least that man brings a little juice to the party.
We don't hate him. We think he's a fine edge rusher, but No, that really speaks to Tyrell Williams and AG even. Like that's one of the things, the vocal points. We needed that defensive line to bring some energy, and for them to show it this early is a very good sign.
Yeah, I mean, they hear the noise. They hear us. Matty Betts, I'm sure, is on Twitter. He hears everybody criticizing him. To your point, Booner, I don't hate Marcus Davenport, but I'm definitely one to give Marcus Davenport some criticism. And even guys like Josh Paschal, this whole defensive line outside of pretty much Aiden Hutchinson and DJ Reader, I think even Lee McNeil being on a contract here has a lot to prove. So seeing these guys getting after it this early, it's definitely a hopeful sign instead of, oh, just another year. Let's just get through walkthroughs and OTAs. Like, no, these guys are hungry. Rookie like Mekhi Wingo.
Yeah, he's looking at Matty Betts, sizing him up, going, yeah, I could take this. I could get this guy's job.
Iron sharpens iron. Panay Sewell and Matty Betts.
that ain't iron sharpening.
Like iron sharpening dirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does bronze? I mean, is that sharpening iron? I don't know. I don't even know. Bronze might be a little friendly. If I'm being honest. He would absolutely. You know what? I'm being disrespectful. He's probably a very, very great guy. Great guy. I'm sure he's a family man. I'm sure he's maybe he's a God-fearing man. But in terms of making Lions, he ain't making that team. All right. Unless there's a scenario where he's like, you know what, Matty Betts, absolute dog on special teams. We need some special teamers in here. Then but
right up back.
Yeah, but he'll end the season, I promise you, with probably 0 sacks. All right, because if he
make another bet, you want to make another bet? We can make another bet.
I'll make that bet too. Matty Betts, no chance.
So there's a contingency. So we have the bet if he makes the roster, and then there's a parlay in there if he gets no sacks. Are we going that?
Yeah, pizza for both. A pizza if he makes the team. If he doesn't make the team, and then later on the year he gets on the roster and ends up getting a sack, I get another pizza from you, back one from you.
Booner's like hedging his bet.
Yeah, but if both happen, I get 2 pizzas.
He ain't getting a sack, so I would.
So I'll go for it. I think I'm going 2-0 with that.
Wait, hold on. Gentry has doubt? Hold on.
2-0. Let me go 2-0 real quick.
Wait, Gentry, you don't like my side of it? You don't like my side of it?
No, I do.
Okay.
Make it 2 pizzas. If I was taking this bet, I would take Jeff's side.
Okay, that's my guy. Okay, I was just making sure I listened to you, Gentry. I listened to you. You said it was a bad bet. I would have taken it.
Yeah.
All right. So hey, here we are, Matty Betts season. Now that's how desperate we are. But anyway, let's get back to the article here. So Tim Twentyman, he also writes "Up and Down Day" is the little headline there in bold. Second-year quarterback Hendon Hooker is getting more and more comfortable in coordinator Ben Johnson's offense. Campbell said before Thursday's practice that Wednesday was a great day for Hooker. I thought Thursday was up and down for him. He missed a couple throws over the middle. He'll like back when he sees them on tape, but he also showed terrific touch on the sideline pass to running back Jake Funk. And hit
shout out.
I'm sorry.
What you know about that?
Jake Funk. Okay,
Scotty Montgomery guy.
Hey, let's keep going. Okay. And hit a tight window throw to wide receiver Darius Fontaine over the middle for a completion.
The video.
Hooker, see, he gave him some love there. Hooker ran a nice situational period, putting the offense in field goal range after starting from his own 37 with 1 minute and 19 seconds on the clock. Hooker received all the second-team reps in the 2 open OTA practices so far. So, in terms of being the backup quarterback, this is good. Now they're throwing him out there, seeing what he's got. Can he compete? A little minute left on the clock. Can you get some points against everyone in no pads?
Got 3
with no pass rush, really.
Crunch time. The big lights were on. How are you going to respond?
Yeah, it's OTAs. They're probably bumping Kendrick Lamar or something in the background. He's just out there playing.
I can tell you that much.
Lights are bright in Allen Park.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. If I'm being honest, the big thing here is the fact that he's just at least slowly getting there. I just don't want Nate Sudfeld to be the backup. And maybe the backup quarterback's not even worth a combo, fellas. But
no, it is. No. Backup quarterback is always, when you have a Super Bowl team. I know, if a quarterback goes down, your season's over. But if you have your quarterback Jared Goff go down for a game or two, can you get someone maybe just go 1-1 in that stretch instead of going 0-2? Can you do if Hendon Hooker? It's only week 2 of him. The positive news that I took out of it is that he took all the second string snaps instead of Nate Sudfeld, which means that improvement, like they're seeing it. Like Dan said the other day, like the improvement that they saw a couple days ago, that was what they want to see. And then that turns into him taking all the second team snaps. Like by the time the season comes around, I want him to be like, obviously he's not going to be as experienced as a Teddy Bridgewater because Teddy was in the league for so long and started games and all of that. But like you need him to get as close as you can to that, to that level, to where if Jared misses a game or misses 2 games, you have to have someone that can just keep you in games to give you a chance to at least go 1-1, 2-1, whatever it is. Yeah. So that is a conversation, Jeff.
I refuse to believe that Hendon Hooker just stepping on the field, even if it was day one, is not better than David Blau, Tim Boyle, or Nate Sudfeld. I will refuse to believe that. So I do think, though, to Booner's point, that backup quarterback is incredibly important, and it shows when you need one. So, I mean, I know the Colts didn't go to the playoffs last year, but like, look at the Colts last year. I mean, if they didn't have Gardner Minshew and they had Tim Boyle back there, they'd probably be picking a top 3 pick in this draft, which honestly probably would help them out. But you never want to have just some bum sitting back there at your backup spot, especially when you're a Super Bowl team with a tough division. You need a solid backup.
And someone in the chat said Sudfeld is hurt. I have no idea if that's true or not, but either way.
No, he is. He is.
Well, but still, guess what? Now Hendon's getting those snaps.
Yeah, he's dealing with something that was told to us by John, I believe. But the fact that it's not even that he's getting the second team reps because that's expected, but that he's like doing something with it. That's what I'm like, okay, at least he's doing something out there.
What did Sudfeld hurt?
It's a minor thing. I think we talked about it last week. Hendon Hooker was taking his reps and he was getting like double the reps because Nate Sudfeld was out.
Holding a clipboard or something.
But
and by all means, dude, I usually hate watching preseason if I watch it at all. But like, there's an incentive this year that you get to watch Hendon Hooker, tear it up in preseason, hopefully. So it's exciting, man.
Well, another player to keep an eye on here, Goff to JMO connection, which Tim wrote about. He says Williams is expected to have a much bigger role this year as the number 2 receiver behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. Goff and Williams hooked up early in practice during that 7-on-7 period deep down the right sideline for a touchdown. Williams showed off that terrific speed, beating cornerback. Okay.
Hey, that was a starter last year. He's being an NFL starter.
And making a nice over-the-shoulder catch. That's important. Over-the-shoulder catch. It earned a fist bump from Goff after Williams crossed the goal line. The two later connected on a 29-yard pass in a situational team period that helped set up a field goal. And then Tim also writes, speaking of St. Brown, he looks to be in midseason form, which is to be expected given his work ethic and consistency over the last 3 seasons. He was all over the field catching passes from Goff Thursday. Expect a monster season from St. Brown in another year of Johnson's offense. Hey, Jameson Williams making some noise. He's just keeping people talking. He's just keeping people talking. He's out here making plays.
Do you guys remember last year at this time, like those conversations were like, oh, Jamo dropped the pass or Jamo's struggling, this and that. Like he's in year 3 now, and he's just expected to go out there and do that stuff. And you love to hear that. And yeah, I think John said he's dropped a pass or 2 and this and that. Like things have happened, but I think just hearing some positivity coming out from the Jamo camp is good. And fellas, I just want to throw this out there. The Amon-Ra St. Brown thing, you didn't think, and Jeff, you're not a proponent of it, but you're someone that we've had the conversation of how much more can Amon-Ra do. Like there's going to be a point to where like he can't go over there because you have so many weapons. Hearing Amon-Ra St. Brown in OTAs is in midseason form. It makes me feel like what is he going to look like when the season comes around? Like what is he going to look like in the middle of the season? He's going to be that much better. And I think we talk about it all the time. Like St. Brown isn't one of those guys that just gets to where he's at and he's like, I'm cool with that. Like I'm good. He's going to keep getting better and better, and he's going to keep making those catches, and he's going to keep working out with John Brown, and he's going to keep doing all of that. Like we had Mo on the show, and he's worked out with John Brown, and he told you what it's like. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to keep getting better, guys. And the one thing we haven't talked about with St. is this. Josh Reynolds left. We keep asking people, oh, where are those catches going to go? Is Jamo going to step up? Is DPJ going to step up? Is Khalif going to get more? Is Gibbs going to get more? Why not Amon-Ra St. Brown? Why hasn't anyone said, hey, Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to get 300 more yards to replace Josh Reynolds? He's going to be the one that goes out there and gets 1,700 yards.
Good point, Boone.
Like no one's brought that up yet. This is like I was sitting here and I read that and I'm like, wait a second. We keep asking who's going to take Josh Reynolds' yards, that 600 yards of a difference. Amon-Ra St. Brown has gotten gradually better every year. When you think he can't get better, guess what? He's came back every season and he's increased stats. He's going to do that again this year. And he's going to end up taking some of those yards from Josh Reynolds. And he's going to go, what did he have this year? What was it, 1,500?
I believe 1,400. I could be wrong. Might have been 15. Might have been 15.
Don't be shocked. This is the conversation, guys, that we have had, and I've brought up a couple times that I feel like at some point in his career, Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be in the conversation for Offensive Player of the Year. I think this is one of those years to where you lose Josh Reynolds, Amon-Ra St. Brown's goes out there and gets 1,700 yards, 10+ touchdowns, dominates. You're the number one seed in the NFC, and there's going to be no choice but to say, this man might have led the league in receiving yards this year. We have to give it to him. Don't forget, Jeff, he's the Yak King this season.
Yes.
He's absolutely the Yak King. Don't be shocked if he ends up leading the NFL in receiving yards one of these years. And you know what? I want you to say something negative. I'm going to clip it and send it to him so he can put that up in his locker.
No, it's not. Okay.
He can use that as motivation.
This is where we have to draw a very fine line. I am not being negative. I'm trying to be realistic. Okay? Yeah. And what my hear me out. I never said Amon-Ra can't do. No way. He doesn't have it in him to get that many yards. I've never said that. What I am saying is Jared Goff, he loves to spread the ball around, right? I know Amon-Ra St. Brown's gonna get his, obviously. But I don't in Ben Johnson's offense, they want to spread the ball around. They have a lot of weapons. Like this isn't like, you know, I always think of when I think of guys that were fed that had a lot of production, I think of Cooper Kupp, which go look at that year, who they had on the Rams. I go look at that. They fed Cooper Kupp. Calvin Johnson, obvious reasons. No, I don't really need to explain more. You go into CeeDee Lamb. Look at that. Look what they had. I mean, he was getting fed at the end, like, he doesn't have the hands like Amon-Ra, but I don't know if Amon-Ra will be fed like that. I think there'll be a collection of guys that are going to, maybe he can get to, can he get to, 16, maybe he can lead the league in receiving. Yeah, I'm not saying he can't. I'm just curious. I don't know if they'll have that type of setup where it's like feed Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like they got so many guys. We talk about. You just mentioned the other day that Jameer is going to increase his.
I do, but
how many yards is Jared Goff throwing?
But Jeff, we haven't had the conversation yet about Amon-Ra getting those catches because how many catches did Josh Reynolds have last year? 40, 50?
Yes.
So those got to go somewhere.
Jamo had 300 last year.
And I agree. Jamo's going to get more, but we haven't had the conversation of, hey, maybe they want to use Amon-Ra more. He is the Yak King in the NFL. When you have the guy in the NFL that has the most yards after a catch, maybe if you need to spread the ball around more because you lost one of your key players, maybe you give the ball to the guy that has the most yards after a catch in the entire NFL. Like that is an opportunity to go out there and do that. And I get there's weapons, but Jeff, Tyreek Hill, 1,700 plus yards. How many weapons did they have?
Okay. But Boone, that's where you gotta. Tyreek Hill.
He brought up CeeDee Lamb as a question. I'm going to bring up another one.
I think if you look at CeeDee Lamb, especially if you look at their running game, like Tony Pollard, they weren't running the ball, and Brandon Cook did have a couple games, but it was pretty much CeeDee Lamb. And the times when CeeDee Lamb wasn't getting fed, it was going to Jake Ferguson. I agree with you that probably I could see him going up 100 yards. But I don't know about 300 just because I do think the Lions are going to have more success as a team overall. Jared Goff's not going to be in a position where he has to be throwing the ball as much, and it's a run-first offense. I think if you look, Miami is a run-first offense, but if you look at Mike McDaniel's that passing attack, it's so calculated with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Then you look at guys like Justin Jefferson. He's getting fed the ball there too. So I get what you're saying. I could see a production increase. I could see 100, 150 yards. But I do also think that the Lions just situationally are not going to be in a position where they have to feed Amon-Ra that type of role where he's a Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, you name it.
You said that perfectly. And that's kind of where I'm coming from, Boone. That's kind of where I'm But with the 2,000-yard potential backs, it's they're and the defense is better, more stops, they're playing with the lead, run the ball. They're not going to be down, all of that, but much.
He was 250 yards or something away from leading the league last year, and he missed a football game. So, if he plays in all the games this year, you're going to think that Amon-Ra, especially with losing your number 2 wide receiver. I know there's going to be guys to fill in, and there's going to be, but you have to think Amon-Ra is your vet. He's the guy you're going to lean on consistently when it comes in that wide receiver room, especially losing a vet like Josh Reynolds. So it's I don't think it's crazy to say, hey, Amon-Ra St. Brown, you just lost your wide receiver number 2. I know you need J-Mo to step up, and you expect him to be 2. You expect DPJ to fill in a role. You expect Khalif to be there. But, hey, think about this. What happens if right away some of those guys don't end up doing that instantly and it takes some time? You're going to lean on a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you expect him, a guy like him who works as hard as he does, and every year he improves, you would think he goes out there and he's probably going to have another 1,500 yards. Adding another 200 to it to when you're trying to find kind of that new offense because you lost one of your main weapons, I don't see that as like a crazy outlook, being like, hey, what happens when you need, your team needs someone to lean on? Who do you lean on? Your best player, and that's Amon-Ra St. Brown at the end of the day. And obviously some guys are going to get better, but I don't see targets getting taken away from Amon-Ra St. Brown. I see more targets getting thrown his way because you're losing wide receiver 2 and you have some younger guys that need to step up. So that's why for me, when I think about that and here, he's already in midseason form, it's like, okay, he's probably going to get a couple extra targets, a couple extra weeks this year. If he stays healthy, like, those targets for him, that's yards after catch. He can add another 200 on. And remember the conversation we had about the wide receivers, guys? There's been guys that have led the NFL in wide receiver yards with 1,600 yards, 1,500 yards. So I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up doing that and puts himself in an opportunity to do that and be offensive player of the year. I would not be shocked.
I mean, I still think he gets fed, and I still think he gets, more catches than he did last year, obviously, with given how the offense has restructured. But I still think they keep it honest. Laporta's going to get his touches. I think it's really about filling the void of Josh Reynolds with J-Mo and J-Mo really progressing because, like Lukas said, you still have the best RB duo in the league. You have the best offensive line. You kind of want to stick to what works, and that was running the ball and the play action. So I don't think he's going to get crazy amount more than he did last year, but I do expect that it will be a little bit more and he'll continue to increase year by year. So I agree with you in that instance, Booner, but you still got to stick to the run game. And the biggest thing is about filling that void with Jameson Williams and him really progressing and taking Josh Reynolds' place and being better than him.
Yeah. I mean, no, Lukas, you got something? Because I
was just going to say, I think, not saying because when I say this, it's going to sound like I'm disagreeing with what you were saying, Booner. I do think that Amon-Ra is going to be, again, especially in the receiving game, Jared Goff's guy. But I think offensively this year, the focal point is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. That's why, especially on the ground, I think another reason why Amon-Ra is a guy that absolutely, if he was in a different situation, 1,800 yards, especially if a team's trailing a lot. But this year, I don't know, man. I think that's where Amon-Ra could be the focal point, but I do think it's just going to be who are you looking to give the ball first to? I think it's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's where I think I don't know. I just don't think that Ben Johnson looks at it like our focal point this year is Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that's just he's going to do what he did last year. Maybe he's going to get more touches. And I've agreed with you that I think Jahmyr is going to be a Pro Bowl, all-pro running back in the next year or two. I don't think that's how they look at it at all. Like realistically, they're not like, hey, now the offense runs through Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, no, you just had an all-pro wide receiver. You have an all-pro.
But that doesn't take away from that. But I think by
like we're going straight through Gibbs. Like what? That's not.
I mean, I think if you look at it, it's a run-first team, and a huge part of their passing game is going off and using the play action. When you have a running back, you take 12th overall and is playing like a running back that you take 12th overall. And again, you have a better defense, offensive line, especially with Zeitler, is going to improve in the run game. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be making big plays, and he's going to be one of those guys where it's hard not to give the ball, especially when it's so much easier to hand the ball off than having to worry about Jared Goff making a throw. Not saying that Jared Goff can't, but how much easier, more consistent is that? And I just think Jahmyr Gibbs, run first team, I think a top 5 running back, I think top 3 running back. I think by default, that's who the offense goes through. There's a good balance there. Like Amon-Ra's still going to get fed. But I think it's just easier to look to Jahmyr Gibbs first than Amon-Ra.
That's where I don't know. I disagree a little bit. I think Jahmyr Gibbs ends up being top 5. I just think being like, hey, it's Jahmyr Gibbs' show now. Like Ben Johnson, like he could have anyone on his team. He's never going to be like it's this one man show.
I'm not saying that. I'm just
that's
saying
what it feels like though. Like that's
but last year, like Amon-Ra was the focal point. Sam Laporta was still going off. David Montgomery was still going off. But who did they look to first? Amon-Ra. I think year 2, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think we could see his transition. Could it be another year from then? Yeah, but I could very well see it being this year.
And I'm, you guys are a little higher on what Gibbs can do in terms of where he can rank. My point, and you took the Gibbs angle, but my angle is just the run game. I just think they are a run for, and I don't really disagree with what Booner's saying about Amon-Ra in terms of character. Like he's good. He's always going to improve. He works his ass off. But it's the point I made about Laporta. Like, let's say like Amon-Ra matches his yards from last year. He can still improve, but have similar statistics. But leading the league in receiving yards, like, yeah, I guess it depends, Boone, because like you said, if you get 50, I think you can get 1,500. If 1,500 leads the league in receiving, like, yeah, I mean, you're right. But like, I don't know. I'm curious if this offense all of a sudden just changes and they're like, we're going to get Amon-Ra like 1,900 yards, whatever. 17,
I don't think, again, guys, I don't think it's me. I'm not saying they're going to move the focal point towards Amon-Ra. It's, hey, feed him. I just think like Ben said in his press conference yesterday, we have to find a way to get those. Like, I want to look it up right now. Josh Reynolds, how many catches did he have and targets did he have? Like, we got to figure out, all right, where are those going to go to? And yeah, you expect that to go to Jamison Williams. He had 40 catches. You expect those 40 touches to go to Jamison Williams and DPJ and those. But again, like some of them can go to Jahmyr Gibbs. Some of them are going to go to Amon-Ra St. Brown, et cetera, et cetera. Like that's going to happen there. Like some of those guys are going to get a couple more touches. And I agree with Lucas. I think Gibbs gets a lot more. I think D-Mont gets some taken away and it goes towards Gibbs because we know what he is.
Well,
that's kind of my argument a little bit with it.
Can I ask you, and I'm being serious. Like so JMO, let's say what did Josh have? 600? What was it? He had like 600 yards, something like that?
600 and something yards, yes.
So if JMO had 300, and we all think JMO, do we agree JMO could get like realistically like at least 800? Can we go like
700?
I think he can, but is he guaranteed to? No, but I think he can.
Okay, so well, in your scenario, if JMO's like a complete bust, then yeah, like they're gonna failed, and
I don't
he's
think
gonna
he will be,
but let's say he is good and he gets 800 yards. There's 500 more. You want Gibbs to get 200 more receiving yards? There's 200 more. So now we're
I see what you're saying.
So you get where, and then like Laporta, so he'd have to stay the same then, Booner. He'd have to stay the exact, because if Booner, he gets another 150, now we're at almost 1,000 more yards, and we haven't even touched Amon-Ra's production. You get where I'm coming from here? I'm not trying to.
I do, but I just think there's like something's gonna happen. Like I just don't see Amon-Ra being like I'm like not him personally, but you relied so much on him. Like Gibbs can take on a role as well. But I think like Amon-Ra, he's just one of those guys to where that's like part of you. Yeah, like I don't see him going out there and getting 1,200 yards this year. Like another 1,500 yard season, like that's an expectation, I'm sure, for him and for this Lions offense, and they rely on him a lot. Like you just don't go away from someone that you went to the NFC Championship game with, that was your number one option and your reliability source, and just go, hey, let's just switch that up to Gibbs or JMO. Like he's going to get that 1,500 again, and if not, he's going to improve his game, and he's getting better. Like someone put it in the chat, I can't remember who it was. It was Sick Argument. He put it in there. He was like, Amon-Ra even mentioned that like he expects to have the same amount of catches. He probably won't get more, but he wants to get better in yards after catch. And like him going into the offseason with that mindset, think about that. He's going to go into this year knowing that he needs to get more yak, and he's going to do that. And that's going to take him from 1,500 to 1,600 maybe. I just don't think it's crazy to think of, like, I'm sure this is the conversation a lot of us had 2 years ago with Amon-Ra, being like, oh, I don't know if he'll ever get to that all-pro level. And guess what? He did it within a year or two. He was an all-pro, first team. So it feels like a similar thing.
And I get what you're saying, Boone. I don't want it to be like we're like debating his like potential. It's not that. I think it's debating opportunity. That's what we're debating. Because like we all agree, Amon-Ra St. Brown's the hardest working dude, one of the hardest working dudes in the NFL. Like I'm not going to put a ceiling on him, but like I said, you could still be a better player, but the production is relatively the same. Like that. So it's all about opportunity. You think he'll get more of an opportunity? I'm curious. Maybe the yak increases, to your point, and he gets more yards.
I mean, for context too, guys, like, I mean, think about Julio Jones, like in his career, he was in a situation where you could say that he gets fed, and you go down his game log after, if you want to start basically in 2014, which was when he had his first 1,500 yard season, he then went to 1,800, but then he went down to 1,400, then another 1,400, then 1,600, but down to 1,300. So I think there is going to be points where Amon-Ra, it's hard for pretty much anyone to hold 1,500 yards as their standard. So I think there are going to be years when he does dip statistically. But then again, like if you watch Julio Jones throughout his career, he got better and better each year. Right. And I think, Booner, that's what you're saying as well. But I think we might push back a little bit as far as the production increase. But I just think it's it's important for just we don't act like if Amon-Ra doesn't get 1,500 yards, like what's happening. I just think
no. So that's the thing. Like if he doesn't get it, I'm not going to see. Like we're still going to have a top 5 offense and win football games.
Right.
It's just I do believe that there's a chance he increases. And again, like I said from the beginning, I think there's a chance he go out there and get 1,700 and put your name in the hat for Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going to put a bet on it. He's like plus 1,200 or something. Like I don't think that's a crazy bet to take. If he goes out, he's plus 2,100. That's not a crazy bet to take. If this offense is his offense and you lost Josh Reynolds, I wouldn't be shocked.
Say if it's plus 1,200, that's not good odds. But plus 2,100, I can maybe get down with.
And look at the guys that he's ahead of. He's ahead of Bijan, Puka Nacua, Breece Hall, AJ Brown, Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Garrett Wilson, Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, Kyron Williams. Like he's just sitting there with he's literally right there. Oh no, he's a little bit off. Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I think if I'm betting on, I don't hate betting on Amon-Ra. If I'm betting on Offensive Player of the Year, I would look at opportunity and talent. Like, is this guy going to get a fuck ton of opportunities? Like, you know, what I mean, and Amon-Ra, you could be right, Boone. Like, he could go out there and just fucking get like, what was the offensive player, the last wide receiver to win it? What was his yard production? Do you guys remember? I'm sorry.
Well, just think, Tyreek Hill didn't win it last year.
Yeah, but Christian McCaffrey.
I think Justin Jefferson won it last. Let me look real quick.
Because he had what did he have? Like 7? What did Justin Jefferson have?
So the last person to win it was wide receiver was Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
Cooper Kupp.
And that's it. Honestly, guys, if we're being real, just because looking at it, like, could you see a situation where let's say St. Brown's going off, but then we're all assuming that Laporte and the other guys are going to do their thing. Does Jared Goff get that before St. Brown? Because you look at last year with the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey going crazy. But then somehow, when you look at it, Brock Purdy could have finished with more MVP odds.
Maybe MVP, but Offensive Player of the Year, I don't think so.
Okay,
I think Goff would be higher in the MVP at that point than Offensive Player.
Because they did him dirty with Brock. I mean, I'm sorry, dude. Christian McCaffrey should have been the MVP, like undoubtedly.
In 2019, Michael Thomas won Offensive Player of the Year with 1,700 yards and 9 touchdowns. So it's not impossible. And same with Justin Jefferson. When he won it, it was 1,800 yards.
Yeah, he's going to have to get that.
Like Boone with that Michael Thomas season, like he set the record for most receptions in a season. That's why I think it's crazy.
How many is that? How many did he have?
149.
Yeah. And Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown winner. But the thing is with Cooper Kupp, that's where when we're going back to the conversation with like the whole Rams and Lions thing with like the Rams are pass first team. That's why it's just so hard for me to kind of say that with St. Brown. I just do think it's hard for him to do that just because of the identity of the Lions. But that's why, again, he's the perfect receiver for the Lions because blocking, he's going to do much more work than the Cooper Kupps or Justin Jeffersons of the world.
Real quick, fellas, I want to just run through this, and then we're going to get to our draft, okay? Because we're going to get to our defensive player draft. We're drafting defenses in the NFC North. I'm excited. We don't have the graphics to kind of go through it, but it's okay. I'll make the teams and then we'll take it from there. But we'll do it live on the show here. But real quick, I just love the last part of this article. That's selfishly, I do want to show it. All right. Yeah, the kicking competition. I'm being honest. No time, no problem. Tim Twentyman writes, Goff in the first team offense were really put in a tough situation. Were put in a really tough situation by Campbell where they had to start at their own 30-yard line in just 24 seconds on the clock. It ended up being no problem for Goff and company, connected with St. Brown for a 7-yard gain, and St. Brown was able to get out of bounds to stop the clock. Goff then made a throw over the middle. Shout out to 21 for that. To Williams for 29 yards down to the 34-yard line. That set up a 52-yard field goal attempt by Michael Badgley that missed wide right. And James Turner made.
Oh, James Turner coming for the fucking.
Oh, no.
You see the bottom one, too?
Turner.
James Turner. Overall, as he missed both of his field goal attempts in team periods, he was short from 54 yards.
Whoa. Short? I thought he's got a leg now.
From 52. During OTAs, they gave both kickers a chance from the same distance in situational periods. Turner made both kicks from 54 and 52.
I thought Badgley got his leg up. I thought he improved his leg. That was the rumor.
Jake Bates, get him on the phone. Get him on the phone now.
If
get
you're
him on the
missing
phone now. This is bad.
54 in OTAs, that's concerning.
There's no pressure.
Short on a 54? Like, and I get 54s, but dude.
Jake Bates would never be short at
37 yarder, but if you're an NFL kicker You got to be nailing 54 yarders in OTAs.
Like wide left,
with no
wide
pads,
right.
no pressure.
All right, short. Badgley, you got to be able to hit and then 52, he couldn't hit either. And then James Turner just walked out there. He's just like smoked them both.
Easy.
But Jeff, we're crazy for saying that we would love a great quick kicker. We're crazy for thinking
this
that.
guy.
We're crazy for going at Badgley. The money badger. Everyone, he's just fine. You have a good kick. Come on.
No, he's broke. Ain't no money badger.
Yeah, J-Rod said it there. Bring in Jake Bates, Turner versus Bates. Let that be the training camp battle. Move on. There's a reason Badgley has gotten cut twice in 1 year.
Jake Bates shaking his hands like Birdman, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, he really is, dude. Yeah, I hope they figure it out. That Ryan hit it when it counts versus the Rams. That is fair. That is
one
fair.
field goal. That's awesome. Yeah.
Hey, broken clocks right twice a day, and that was not even twice. It was once. So that's an even different analogy there. So I don't know. I'm not confident. I'm not confident at all. Jake Bates, bring him home. No pads and missed. We need to bring Bates in. Yeah,
short, not just missed. He was short on a 54-yard. Short.
I want to see how short. That's so key. I want to see how short. Was it like just short, or was it like fucking short? Like,
how are you short? Oh my God!
Someone got a video of that. That would that'd be blowing up online.
And again, I'm not saying like, oh, it's easy to hit 54 yarders, but like this is what we need to know. If we're keeping him around, you need to know, can you hit a 50+ yard field goal? And he missed both.
If you go 0 for 2 and Jake Turner goes 2 for 2-0,
James Turner
or James Turner, Jake Bates, James Turner, I just combined them. You have to figure that one out.
James Turner. It's a tough one, boys. Shout out to Tim Point. It's on DetroitLions.com, his takeaways. So go check that out.
Here comes Adam. Hey, Adam, your kicker missed a 54-yard field goal short with no pads and no pressure. Short, a 54-yard field goal. Short, no pressure, no pads, OTAs. Just out there just kicking for fun. And you short. I don't care if you hit a 54-1 in the play in the playoffs.
That's like when the Lions, before the Lions had Monty and Jahmyr Gibbs, that's like me saying, guys, relax. Like Craig Reynolds had 100 yards before. Like, relax. Like he's a perfect back. They don't need any more. He had 100 yards once. Like, he's fine.
Hey, imagine Jared Goff on like a little like a when they're just doing their warm-ups on just a long route, he just throws it like 20 yards short, and you're like your quarterback would never. Like this is the NFL.
Yeah.
Missing a 54-yard short.
We got you, Klotzy. I don't know if he's. Oh, I love Klotz. All right,
boys, let's do this draft.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's get to this draft. All right, we're doing NFC North. We're drafting defensive players. Booner, can you know the positions? Can you play it out for everyone?
Yeah, where am I drafting at, Booner?
Oh, yeah. So, I put it in the prep here. So I did a randomizer. Jeff, you're going to go first overall. I will go second. Klotzy ended up getting third, and Gentry, you're fourth. So
this is so rigged. Chat, you see what's going on?
I did a randomizer today.
What's going on, chat?
So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing
trying to give me a promotion.
We're going to be doing 2 edge rushers, 1 defensive tackle. So basically 3 linemen with a defensive tackle, a linebacker, 2 corners, and 1 safety. That's going to be our draft. I do have a question for guys like a Brian Branch. Where are we putting a guy like him? Is he a safety?
Brian Branch is much more a safety than a corner.
That's that. I like that a little bit. Then I just wanted to make sure.
So real quick, Boone, read it off for everyone again. I'm sorry.
2 edge rushers.
Okay.
1 defensive tackle, 1 linebacker, 1 safety, and 2 corners.
All right.
Okay. And it'll be Jeff, me, Klotzy, and Gentry. Basically the order we have on the screen here. That was a randomized thing.
Super random.
Boys?
Oh, you're sitting in my seat now, Gentry.
I'm going to cook. They did this on purpose. They don't want me to be great. They don't want me to build the dynasty. But
this is going to be the easiest number 1 pick. Yeah. I'm sitting there going, many would think this is Troy Weaver drafting Cade. I'm sitting there going, oh my. You know, I'm going to milk the clock. I'm going to milk the clock, and then I'm going to submit the pick. And you know who I'm submitting? You know.
Yeah.
You know. I will be selecting the edge rusher out of Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson.
Push moo.
Give me Aiden Hutchinson. He's starting on my defensive line. He's got grit.
Okay.
Interesting.
He's got grit.
I've already got my pick.
Let's hear it, Boone.
I'm
gonna
go
from the trenches.
We are, and I'm gonna do the same thing here. Probably you could argue most likely the second best. Yeah, maybe there's another guy I want to go, but last time I messed up and I didn't go the position groups that didn't have as much as you could pick from, and I like the quarterback, and I ended up waiting. So I'm just gonna go the position group that I think has the least amount, and we need
Fucking
to
say it.
Just pick.
Hey, let me talk. Rashawn Gary out of Green Bay.
Keep talking. You want to keep talking?
I mean, what are we doing here? I'm trying to talk here.
I'm getting anxious. I'm pounding the table for my play. I thought he was guaranteed gone here.
Klotz wants a W. He's down.
I need it.
Boone, who are you taking? Talk to us.
I already said it while you guys were clutching on
He said Rashawn Gary. He said Rashawn Gary.
What are we doing here?
Oh,
I wasn't listening, Booner.
I don't give you credit, Boone. That was an
Klotzy?
easy one. I don't give you any credit. I'm kidding.
Sorry, Boone. That's on me, Boone.
Joking. So Aiden Hutchinson and Rashawn Gary, first two picks for the defensive NFC North draft. Klotz, you are on the clock.
Listen. There's a battle that I'm fighting here. I could go with multiple. I could go with the trend of defensive ends, but I'm not. Give me the All-Pro. Give me the cornerback in Chicago, Mr. Jalen Johnson. Bring him home. Bring Jalen Johnson home.
Jalen Johnson, CB1, building from corner first. I don't hate it. Klotzy. I don't hate it.
I did.
What do you think, Gentry?
All right, so I go back to back, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Back to back.
I will take Montez Sweat out of
Great pick. That was another one I wanted.
And then after that, I am going to take Jair Alexander.
Oh, dude, he won already. Great two picks.
Oh, no, he did not.
I think those are two good picks.
No, this ain't over.
Yeah, it ain't over. There's still a lot to
There's
go.
still a
lot of ball to be played left, Boone.
A lot of ball. Klotzy, you are back up.
All right. This is tough. This is another tough one. We went corner here, and I'm not going to do it again. I can't do that. And I think when looking at this board, a lot of areas I could go. But thinking about just putting my nuts on the table, that's what got me in trouble last week. So
you had J-Mo at running back.
Well, that was later. I'm talking about I took Darnell Wright way, way, way too early. So I think.
All right, make your pick. Who are you going to pick?
I know. I'm thinking because now I wanted to look at the graphic. It's going to get tougher as the graphic goes on. But I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to stick to the secondary. I'm just going to get the secondary locked down. Give me Brian Branch.
Yeah, I'm going to have all the time in the world dotting you up. I'm going to have all the time. You're going to have Matty Betts on that defensive line.
Man to man. Send in the house.
Man. All right, Boone.
The linebacker that we're getting.
Oh, okay. What do you think, Boone? What do you got?
I'm thinking. Pull the clock.
No, it's hard because once you start, because I'm trying to I'm thinking of the Vikings edge rusher, and I'm like, all right, I can think of one or two, but it's not anybody that stands out. Same with the Packers.
You guys already lost this.
Why?
No, pick.
What happened?
I didn't tell you my pick. That's why you're going to lose. Last time you stole my pick. This time you don't know who I'm picking. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to go. Oh, this is so tough. I'm going to get my safety out of the way.
Okay.
I'm going to go in Green Bay. Give me Xavier McKinney.
I love that, Boone. I thought he was going to fall. I love that pick, though. Love it, Boone.
Hey, thank you, Klotzy.
So that puts me up, and this is a pretty easy one because Aiden Hutchinson. That was my first pick. I need someone to force the quarterback out of the pocket, and there's one man in the NFC North that wreaks havoc from the middle. And you guys know who I'm talking about. I will be selecting Kenny Clark, defensive tackle from Green Bay.
This man took Kenny Clark before DJ. I thought this was a DJ Reader pick all the way.
Nope.
All right.
I want someone who can get after the quarterback. Kenny Clark.
I remember watching Sam Laporta week 4 throwing that man on the fucking ground.
Aiden Hutchinson and Kenny Clark, you ain't gonna have no time. And I ain't done.
Child, please. Kenny Clark.
And I go again. And I go again.
I'm back up.
And I go again. Okay. And you know what? This one. Interesting.
Oh my gosh.
So I love dragging it out. I've spoken to my assistant general manager, and we decided that I think it's best that we take an absolute field general. Okay.
All right.
Just make the pick, goddammit.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on here? I mean, this is unbelievable.
Honest?
You don't know who you're going to pick.
I wasn't ready for a
You have no clue who you're going to pick.
Yeah, I know, Jeff. I know. Yeah. He goes, I'm up again. Fuck.
Okay.
He's like, I like dragging it on, knowing damn well he doesn't know who he's picking.
He's putting fruit salad.
This is Van Ginkel. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. My pick is going to be. Fuck it. All right, we're going with it. I will be going with TJ Edwards.
Oh, that was going to be my pick.
TJ Edwards.
I like it.
TJ Edwards.
All right.
I mean, that was who I was going to pick.
TJ Edwards. We're building the defense. We're building the defense.
I'm up, yeah. So I've got Rashawn Gary and Xavier McKinney right now at edge and safety. I'm gonna build up. Huh?
Nothing. Just go.
I'm gonna build up. This is a good one, boys. This is good.
Hear it, Boone.
Give me DJ Reader.
Okay.
Defensive tackle.
All right, there you go.
Rashawn Gary with DJ Reader, Xavier McKinney in the back. I really love that team as of right now. I love this defense right now.
Well, the pick is in for Klotz.
Yeah, I call this early, whatever you want to do it, but I need an edge, and I'm not taking Lucas fucking Van Ness. I think Jonathan Greenyard, like, he's solid, good year in Houston, but I look on the other side of him. Give me Dallas Turner. I want Dallas Turner, and I want him now.
Thought about it.
Give me Dallas Turner.
Great pick.
You don't want Andrew Van Ginkel?
I was thinking, that was the thing. If I didn't go with him here, I was going to see if Van Ginkel would fall, favor the board a little bit. But you know what? Give me Dallas Turner. I want my guy, and I want him now. Pause.
Okay, Gentry, back to back.
So my first pick, I will do Aleem McNeil. That's for sure.
It's a good pick. Good pick.
And
he wasn't ready for a back.
No, my second pick, I'll do Carlton Davis.
All right. Fair.
Okay. I'm back up, right?
Yep. You are back up.
Give me Aleem. We'll make it quick. Nobody took Aleem yet, correct?
I did.
I just did.
You cunt. All right. Let's think.
That's where we are.
So I need another corner, correct still? I need corner. I need a linebacker, and we're doing 2 ends, right?
Yes.
2 ends. Defensive tackle. Let me take a scan. Give me Devontae Wyatt, Packers defensive tackle.
Interesting. Okay.
Underrated player, but he's good.
Wyatt. Okay. Georgia man.
Georgia dog.
All right, Booner.
I'm up again.
You are.
All right. This is. I think I have to make a move here. Wow, this is tough. There's not a lot of good corners in this division, is there? Outside of the top 3, huh?
Imagine having 2 of the top 3, yeah.
Yeah, I mean you do. I'm gonna do this. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if he's not going to be there.
I know who my corner 2 is. I'm waiting on him just to fall.
Hey, Lucas, you want it? While Booner's thinking, you want me to tell you where you fucked up?
Where you think?
drafting a defensive tackle there because everyone else had one. So that guy, you could have got him whenever.
Yeah, it's a good point.
That is true. That's what I did last week with the other one. When I did that,
I want my guys though.
Hey, that's fair. Just letting you know.
All right, Boone. What do you got?
I'm gonna do the second guy in Chicago.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the second. I'm gonna take Tyreek Stevenson.
Okay. Well, that puts me in an interesting position, and I'm going to select. Yeah, actually, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Preston Smith from Green Bay. I'm going to go Preston on the other side of Aiden.
Fine defensive end.
And then I'm going to take Terrion Arnold.
Oh my gosh, you did it to me.
So there's my my corner. So I got
Booner, who did you take? My bad.
Kenny,
I took Tyreek Stevenson.
We're building the defense, boys. We're building the defense. All right, now Booner.
I'm back up again. This is a gauntlet if I've ever felt one before. This is crazy.
Man took Tyreek Stevenson. We were like Brad Holmes in the draft room, like yeah, like Terrion Arnold fell. Yeah, when Terrion fell, we're like, let's fucking go. Come on, dude. Don't let me.
You already took Preston Smith too.
I did. He's a dog. He's with Aiden and Kenny Clark.
All right, I'm gonna go linebacker here. I'm gonna go Alex Anzalone.
All right. Good
okay.
Pick, good.
Solid. Klotzy?
All right. I'm just gonna make sure I get, in my opinion, probably the fourth best corner in this division off the board. Give me Eric Stokes from Green Bay.
All right.
Hey, that man, when they traded Rasul Douglas for a reason. That man's good.
No, that's very fine Georgia quarterback. One of the only Georgia quarterbacks that actually has done really anything. Not a bad player. Gentry, you got back to back.
All right. I am gonna do. Did anyone take Kirby Joseph yet?
Nope.
Actually, I'll do Tremaine Edmonds as my linebacker.
Okay.
All right.
And then I will grab Jonathan Greenyard as across from Marquette Sweat.
Oh,
that's brutal. That was going to be mine.
That's a bad break again, dude. He's getting a bad break.
Oh, God. Hold on. Let me scan again. Type it in here. Let's get in the books. I'm trying to think of the defensive ends that are still there. I'm going defensive end. No, I think Gentry already took Van Ginkel, didn't he?
No, I got Sweat and Greenyard.
Oh, give me Gink. What are we doing here? Bring Gink home. Gink. I'll take some Viking edge rusher for sure. The value here with Alex Van Ginkel. I thought he's been off the board. I would have took him last round. Let's go. I'm happy with this. Favorite pick of the draft.
Bad spot here, boys. I don't know who else to draft here. This is bad. I've just got all backups I'm gonna have to take here.
No, I got some. I'm ready. You let it go. I got two positions. I'm knocking out my last two right here.
Yeah, but I think you just need linebacker, right?
No, I need a corner and a safety.
Yeah. Oh man, because I need a corner too. That means you're gonna take someone that I'm thinking of. Should I do it?
You're not taking my guy, so it doesn't mind. I don't mind.
Ooh.
All right, I'm going to do this.
You're buying them probably.
Give me the Detroit Lions corner. And it's Rakestraw.
Oh.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I don't know who else is on the board here.
I will go Iffy Melifonwu at safety.
Oh, for safety?
And then I'm going Amik Robertson at my other corner.
Oh, Meek. Wow. Hey, wait a second. Wow.
we're dominating, boys. We're dominating.
I'm stuck in a bad spot right now, guys. This isn't good for Booner over here. I need an edge rusher, and I don't think there's a good edge left out. I don't think there's a good edge.
You're gonna have to take Kamish.
I'm gonna have to
take Matty Betts. Take Matty Betts.
Booner.
What?
You still have James Houston there.
Yeah, James Houston is, but I mean him or
Marcus Davenport, 9 sacks in 11 games. Let's not forget.
There's actually
Stand on business. Come on,
Lucas
Boone.
Van Ness.
There's actually no Lucas Van Ness. What did he have? Like 3 sacks last year?
Hey, Davenport. Houston.
Bring him home. Bruno, I think you have to by default. He's the best one out there.
Marcus Davenport. I'll do it.
Oh no. Oh no.
I mean, that's literally all that's left. He's probably the best edge left in the NFC North out of our draft.
So I just need.
Whoa,
Now
whoa.
you're up. Klotzy, you're up.
No, has anybody taken Jack Campbell?
No.
No.
Give me Jack Campbell.
What about you, Gentry?
I was about to take Edrin Cooper.
I think we're done after Gentry, right?
Yeah, my roster's full.
I'm in safety.
There's still a good one out there that nobody's taken. I don't think anybody will.
I'll do Kevin Byard.
Fucking
Javon
missed on
Bullard?
him. No, I wasn't saying him.
Who?
Oh, where there's no more picks, right? Josh Metellus from the Vikings is a fucking dog. Brother,
I'm
turn on
kidding,
it.
I'm kidding,
If you like what's his face from the Browns? Owusu Joker?
Yeah.
JOK. You like
Yep.
Josh Metellus. Josh Metellus is a dog.
Okay, so let's go through our rosters.
I actually don't
Gentry,
think I have a bad one, dude.
you start.
Screw Adam.
Gentry start, and then tell me who you got, and then the chat can react. We'll do it one by one, so we're not like overloading everyone with like.
All right. At edge, I have Montez Sweat, Jonathan Greenyard. At defensive tackle, I have Aleem. Linebacker, I have Tremaine Edmonds. Corner, I have Jair Alexander and Carlton Davis. And then safety, Kevin Byard.
Okay.
It's a pretty good team.
Fine one, cleaned up for sure.
That's a good
All
team.
right, for me, I have the Vikings defensive ends. I have Andrew Van Ginkel and Dallas Turner. Defensive tackle, I have Devontae Wyatt. Corners, I have Jalen Johnson and Eric Stokes. Linebacker, I have Jack Campbell. And safety, I have Brian Branch.
Not bad.
You got Gink is a key. He's
You got some of the great whites out there with Jack Campbell and Van Gink. The great whites are swimming.
Booner. Now you go.
I'm glad you have Jeff. You have your number one fan base out in the crowd tonight. Adam Baydoun, man. He doesn't even know your team.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even trying to say this. I think I have the best defense, dude.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I've got at safety, starting at safety, Xavier McKinney, dog.
I like you,
Dog.
Corner, underrated a little bit. Tyreek Stevenson out of Chicago, another dog. Corner out of the Detroit Lions, Ennis Rakestraw, dog. Linebacker,
secondary,
the second best linebacker, gonna be a Pro Bowler in the NFC this year. Alex Anzalone, dog.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Defensive tackle in the middle, demanding the middle. Detroit's own DJ Reader, baby. On the edge, Michigan man, Rashawn Gary. And on
That's a
the
good
other
player.
end,
Good player.
Michigan man.
a guy that's going to have a big year this year, double-digit sacks.
He's not.
Don't quote me on that.
Oh.
Marcus Davenport, dog. We just want a bunch of dogs here. Don't care about the names or anything.
Oh,
All dogs on that defense, Boone.
Grit and dogs. Adam Baydoun.
Hey, that secondary is
you don't
barbecue
know
chicken.
about.
I'll tell you that much.
Huh?
That secondary is barbecue chicken.
The secondary? No, I don't care. These dudes are about to Xavier McKinney.
Tyreek.
Here we go, Jeff. Here we go. Hold on. Your number one fan, Adam Baydoun. Jeff.
Hey, I'll tell you right now. I built I use my philosophy. Build from the trenches. All right. And then I built from the trenches. All right. Aiden Hutchinson, Preston Smith, and Kenny Clark as my defensive line. Y'all ain't touching that. No one sniffed that in this. No one. Aiden, you doubling him? Okay. Preston Smith's going to get you. Oh, you want to double him?
Oh.
Kenny Clark? He's going to make the quarterback run outside.
I think you hey, they're fine players, but you're gassing up the Kenny Clark pick a little too much now.
He had 8 sacks.
Devontae, hey, Kenny Clark, very fine player, But I'm sure if you ask a lot of Packers fans, they're like, Devontae Wyatt's probably that guy. It's going to be
that guy. So now potential. Okay.
No, I'm not even to Kenny Clark. You can see it. The man's getting slow. The hill is coming down.
Well, I don't know. So a bad year, I'll take 8 sacks. Okay. So he had 8 sacks. All right. He had 8 sacks. That pick, Jeff. Not a very fine player. Very fine player. Okay. So that's my defensive line. Aiden Hutchinson, Preston Smith, Kenny Clark. So we got a couple dudes here. All right. At linebacker, I got TJ Edwards. Absolute tackling machine.
Yes.
All right. Safety, we got Ifitu Malifonwu. He can cover anybody. Length, size, get after quarterback. He's going to get a couple picks too. All right, that's the guy on the back end. I trust him. All right, nothing's getting past Iffy. Cornerback, we could improve certainly. CB1, we got Terron Arnold. He's a rook, but he's a good player and he's going to get comfortable. He's got that confidence, that swagger. He's going to go out there and give me Justin Jefferson. And on the other side of Terron Arnold, we got Amik Robertson. He's not the biggest guy. Got a lot of heart.
But my guys can't have heart. Okay.
No,
I mean, you come at my secondary. So, what are we doing here?
I trust Terrion over Tyreek Stevenson. Why the silence, bro?
I just don't know what you want me to say, dude.
He just stared at me.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right. To be fair, Booner, you taking Tyreek Stevenson? I thought you were going Terron Arnold. 100%. I didn't. I thought I'd have to take Tyreek Stevenson. If I'm being real.
Can I be honest? Me and my wide receivers are putting up 50 on that defense.
That's fair.
If I'm just being honest,
I'm not arguing that. Even though I think my offense is very gritty. We got Josh Jacobs. He'd probably be hurt by week 6, but we'll figure it out. I got Khalil Herbert last week.
Boring, dude.
Boom.
I could draft.
I know Gentry got Jair, but Jalen Johnson and Brian Branch and Eric Stokes.
You got a secondary. What's your D line again?
Gentry has the best team.
It's Dallas Turner, Devontae Wyatt, and Van Gink. And we got Jack Campbell roaming out there. A little QB spy action. Send him up the A gap.
Gentry has the best defense.
Very fundamental team.
Look at he's mad because people are saying
thanks, Boone.
No, it's Gentry. Like if you put it on paper, Gentry is the best team.
I disagree. I think I have better players.
You don't. You're secondary, and no offense, because that's a Lions secondary, but like you just drafted. You drafted Terrion Arnold, who hasn't played a snap yet, which I think he's going to be wide corner number 2. He's going to be corner 2.
Exactly. I think he's good.
He's supposed to be corner 1. Amik Robertson, who's going to be in a rotation, and Iffy, who's in a rotation of safeties as well. I think Gentry has more.
If he's not good now, what are we doing?
He's good, but I think Gentry has a better overall roster.
Okay. I think I had the best defensive line. You want to give the secondary to Gentry? I'll take the defensive line. I think I
do agree with that, Jeff.
Yeah, I'll give you the secondary, Gentry. Shake hands on it. You can have the secondary. I'll have the defensive line. There you go. Yep. Mm-hmm. Gentry's offense was incredible, though. So, hey, we're going to struggle, but we're going to get after him. That's the plan here. We're going to get after the quarterback. All right? That's all we're doing here.
That guy up north. I have Jair Alexander, Carlton Davis, and Kevin Byard.
He's got lockdown. You got some lockdown guys.
Oh, I look at it. I got the best safety and the best corner out of all of us.
But you put him with some dogs. So
Kevin Byard's burnt toast.
See, I have Aiden Hutchinson, and Booner he doesn't like him now. He's not a big Hutch guy when I drafted him.
I thought I was going to pick Hutch if you didn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
You got to give me some love then. I got Hutch.
That's great. That's awesome. We all have one good player. We went in the first. We all drafted in the first round.
Well, Gentry took Montez. So do you like Hutchinson or Montez Sweat?
I think Montez is a great pick as well. They're both good picks.
Yeah, I get it. I think Hutchinson's better. That is my opinion. All right. But I can't argue with Amik Robertson. That he might get bullied on the outside. He might get bullied on the outside. That's fair. And then we both took Bears linebackers. So
yeah, and I would probably take yours. I'd rather have TJ Edwards.
Yeah, Tremaine.
They're both good though.
All right. Well, we got 4 minutes. I like doing it. It's fun. It's the off season. We have fun. And now we drafted our full squads. I got to get a graphic of our full offense and defense so we can match up the teams. Because we got to work on that. Because I think Gentry's offense. I got a more gritty offense. Gentry's he's going to score 150 points. So that's a problem. but I got a pretty good defensive coordinator. I got a guy.
AG out there. Got Spags out there.
I got Spags. Yep, I do got Spags. All right. Well, we got 3 minutes left. Everyone vote or either drop your questions. We got 3 minutes. I don't know. Okay, we'll just get to the questions. LNW mailbag over under on Monty Williams' dumbass drowning next time it rains like one of those dumbass birds. Jesus. I don't know what the over under is.
Yeah, I don't know what the over under is.
There's no like
a time that it takes them to drown or something. I don't know.
There's no number.
That was more so like of a statement, but just threw over under at the front.
I think Monty Williams stays another year, at the very minimum. That's what I think. ALW says, "LOL, LMAO." I'm surprised you read it. ETN mailbag. Isn't it funny that when picking Jalen Johnson, Lucas hails him as an all-pro, yet when Kyron is an all-pro, all of a sudden it doesn't matter? I found it hilarious.
Well, I never said that Kyron wasn't an all-pro, but when you look at Jalen Johnson being an all-pro, I think Jalen Johnson was probably the best corner in the NFL this year. I think it'd be hard to dispute that. And Kyron Williams, based on production, is, but I think when you break it down to the skill set, Jalen Johnson can man you up, can play zone. Kyron Williams is very good. I just don't think he has the talent that Jalen Johnson does at the cornerback position. So great. Kyron Williams is a very good running back. I'm not saying that. But when you start saying that he's better than Saquon Barkley off of 1 year, I think that's fucking ridiculous.
Wow.
Stuff.
Wow.
Wow.
I tend to agree with him. You, meaning you. Anakin says, mailbag, can we put together a Crunch Time Fantasy League? Thought it would be good. Yeah, we will, for sure. We'll probably do a giveaway in it. Whoever wins it, and if we win it, then whoever comes in second or third or whatever viewer.
I mean, if we're doing a fantasy, if one of us win it, we're taking the prize. It's a fantasy league. I mean, fantasy league. I'm not playing for second, not a prize.
Yeah.
If it's money or something, like whoever wins it wins the money.
Well, we wouldn't win anything. It'd be us giving it away, so we would just keep it at that point.
Yeah, like you get paid. Everyone. I mean, if you want to play in our fantasy league, like it's a pot of money. Everyone's gonna put like, hey, you got to pay this much to get in. That's what a fantasy league is.
Okay, well, I was suggesting more of a free
league. Brother, this is fantasy league. This isn't handouts.
Damn. All right,
we're playing for keeps here. Gentry, you feel me? Sounds like Jeff's scared.
Booner
we're gonna have a paid league with our friends, but I'm talking about like a competitive league with the people, our viewers. That like
I would love to do a paid league with the viewers, some of the loyal viewers. Get a little competitive.
Yeah, I just don't want to.
We can reach out to like. There's a bunch of like companies that we can reach out to that can get us like a weekly fantasy league that you can join, and we could all like compete for the week, like everybody in the chat and stuff. Like
I think we could do a full season fantasy with some of the guys in the chat. Or guys.
Well, I'm just saying, there's gonna be people that like will over the season will be like want to do it, and they're too late to the league.
Talk
about it later
for sure.
Yeah,
it's fair enough.
I like the idea though. But hey, like if we're in the league and we're playing versus them, and it's like we're just in first, and it's like, why are we gonna even try if there's no thing for us? Just to have like, I want to.
I guess I'm not.
I'll have
to
answer that later in the year.
You feel me, Gentry?
I was using it more of a way to like, it's a win-win. It's we get to play with people that support us and we give back, and then we have our own that we're like, we're fighting to the death over cash on. But if you want to fight to the death with some viewers, go ahead.
Booner, take marketing 101. You don't take money from your fans.
I know Booner's like, fuck them. We're taking.
Dude, I love giving away money at things. I feel like I'm always like, oh, let's do this. I'm a nice person.
Yeah, that's why you just,
I don't know, dude. Fantasy just sometimes in my head. Fantasy,
I
get competitive a little bit. I love fantasy football.
Yeah, our fantasy league with our old, I sold the bag in that one. But hey,
who won that one?
This man took the bag.
Hey, who won? Against all odds.
Against all odds. Did you win it?
I think he beat me.
Damn right, I did.
He beat me.
Was that the one that Spenny like traded his entire team because he was mad? Is that the one?
Yeah, that was you, Jeff. I did that.
It was
no. He did that after I traded one player.
No, he did it to Lentz.
He traded his whole team to Lentz, and guess who beat Lentz in the semifinal to go to the championship? This guy. When Lentz had like every single great player in the league, and then Gentry beat me.
I beat Braylon too, the one who Jeff gave his team to.
So yeah, you beat Braylon, I beat Lentz, and
I gave AJ Brown for an undisclosed cash amount.
$50.
It was an undisclosed cash amount. That
that man gave away AJ Brown for 4 footlongs from Subway.
You know what? I can't confirm or deny if it was potentially a footlong from Subway. Subway's good, man. You know what? At that point in time, the league was over, dude. No one was fucking playing besides like you guys.
No one cared, and no one cared about that league until the second that went through.
Well, that's that they ran with it. They ran with
Jeff made money in a free league somehow, some way.
Yeah. Hey. Beat a dog. All right. We'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. We got some stuff scheduled out, so look forward to that. Thank you to Kory for joining the show as well. And don't forget, officialct.com or officialctsports.com. Check it out. Merchandise.
Get your merch.
Merch
is live.
Hold on. And the giveaway on Twitter to go donate some money and for the giveaway on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll give away a jersey to those who post their receipts. Until Monday, we'll catch you guys. Have a great one.
Peace. Love you guys.